I have loved creating this study on the key elements of the book of Revelation, discovering life for today and eternity. Did you know that Revelation is the only book in the Bible where there is a promise of blessing if you read and apply this book? In Revelation chapter 1, verse 3, "Blessed is the one who reads the words of this prophecy, and blessed are those who hear it and take to heart what is written in it, because the time is near." Now, the original audience for Revelation was a group of people in 7 churches in the first century in the outback of the Roman Empire. And they received this book and they learned about God's culmination of earth history and of time. And ever since, Christians have been digging into this book to see what they can find out. In fact, a lot of people speculate about the end of time. When will it come? Hippolytus in the early church said in 500 AD, the world will end. And even recently, David Koresh in our time took 75 people to a suicidal inferno with him because he misinterpreted the book of Revelation. People have been speculating about how the earth will end ever since. But Jesus told us not to do that. In fact, in Acts chapter 1, verse 7, Jesus said to us, "It is not for you to know the times or dates the Father has set by his own authority." You see, he instructed us not to speculate. Well, if speculating and looking at all these details of the end times is not really the primary purpose of the book, then what is? Why are we to study it? Well, I want to tell you a story that I think will help us understand the purpose. Once, when American President Dwight Eisenhower was vacationing in Colorado, he heard about a little boy, a 6-year-old boy. His name was Paul Haley, and he was suffering from an incurable disease. Dwight Eisenhower, our president, was so touched by that one Saturday morning he got in his limousine and he drove to the house of this little boy. And can you imagine, it's a warm August morning, and up into your driveway drives a presidential limousine with American flags flying on the bumpers, and up to your front door walks the President of the United States. Well, Dwight Eisenhower knocked on the door, and Donald Haley, the boy's father, answered. "Is Paul here?" Haley was wearing dirty jeans and an old T-shirt and a day's worth of scrubble beard. Well, they had a great visit, and neighbors are still talking about the day that Dwight Eisenhower came to visit little Paul Haley, and everyone was excited and delighted. Everyone except Donald, the father. And he was quoted as saying, "Can you imagine answering the door to the president in dirty blue jeans and a dirty T-shirt and a scrubby beard? How embarrassing." Donald Haley was not prepared. We are going to study the book of Revelation to prepare well to live here and to prepare well to live in our eternal home. Now, I have designed this study with that preparation in mind. In fact, we're going to look carefully, thoroughly at chapter 1, where we have this picture of the resurrection Christ in all of his majesty. And it is there that Christ is going to dictate to John, who is the author of this letter, 7 letters to these early churches. 7 letters that have tremendous insight and direction. In fact, each of these 7 churches represents a Christian community today. The things that they were dealing with in those 7 churches are exactly the same things we're dealing with in our lives today. And it is through these letters that we're going to walk closer with Jesus. And the letters, in a sense, are a capstone. They're a culmination of all of the New Testament teaching. And so we have them summarized in the very words of letters from Jesus to us. And in those letters, there are hints of our eternal home, the new heavens and the new earth. So after we study the letters, we're going to go and look in detail at the new heavens and the new earth. A beautiful, incredible picture of our lives throughout eternity. Now, the middle of the book is judgments. These are the judgments, in my opinion, that God is going to roll out into the earth during the Great Tribulation. And in my view, Christians won't be there. And so these judgments, they come in ever-increasing strength and horror. There's judgment starting, they're all in sevens. In fact, 7 is the number of completion. We have 7 churches. We have 7, the judgments come in 7. So we have the 7 scrolls that are unrolled. We have 7 judgments in the form of trumpets and 7 bowls of judgment that are rolled out during the tribulation. And then finally, we have the judgment on Babylon. And Babylon is symbolic of all of the religious and political systems that have been opposed to God from the beginning of time. And there's great judgment then on Babylon as well. Now, when our church, in our women's Bible study, when we study this middle part of the book on the tribulation, we're going to bring in teachers and even a few scholars, possibly a panel, to talk about these judgments in the middle portion of the book. It's very difficult to study those in a discussion group because there's no application. We won't be there. These judgments are to get the attention of the people who will be living on the earth at that time. And God's trying to get their attention and say, come to me, come to me. I want to give you a couple of references, a couple of study guides that will help you if you're studying on your own. These would be wonderful resources for you. If you want a simple overview of the judgments, I encourage you to look into the Bible Knowledge Commentary New Testament edition. If you want every detail, the book by Dwight Pentecost, Things to Come, will be an excellent resource for you. I know that very often when we look at the book of Revelation, we are thinking more about the details of these judgments. But I want to encourage you to think more about the beginning section and the end section, those sections that apply to us today, that are going to prepare us for our eternal home. My prayer is that this book will bless you, discovering life for today and eternity.